Welcome back, beer enthusiasts. Today, we're taking a nostalgic trip down memory lane to explore the iconic beers that once dominated the American scene in the 60s. These brews were the life of every party, the go-to choice for many, and a symbol of the era's vibrant culture. But here's the twist. These beloved beers have vanished from our shelves. Join us as we uncover the stories behind these discontinued classics, reminisce about their golden days, and discover what made them so special. Grab your favorite brew, sit back, and let's dive into the bubbly history of America's lost beers.
A family of better quality, better tasting beers. Hudepohl.
The better beers of Hudepohl.
Hudepohl Beer was a popular choice in America during the 60s. Originating from Cincinnati, Ohio, Hudepohl Brewing Company was established in 1885 by Louis Hudepohl II and Henry Muehlhauser. The brewery gained popularity for its quality brews, and by the 60s, it was a well-known brand in the Midwest. One of Hudepohl's famous products was the Hudepohl 14K, a pale lager that many Americans enjoyed. It was a staple at family gatherings, local bars, and neighborhood cookouts. The brewery also produced other brands like Hudepohl Bock and Little King's Cream Ale, the latter being particularly popular for its unique small-sized bottles. In the 60s, Hudepohl Beer was synonymous with American working-class culture. It sponsored local sports teams, including the Cincinnati Reds, and was a common sight at sporting events and local celebrations. Hudepohl's advertising was straightforward, often focusing on the quality and tradition of their brewing process. By the 80s, Hudepohl Brewing Company faced financial difficulties. It merged with Schoenling Brewing Company in 1986, but the combined entity struggled to maintain market share. Eventually, production moved to other facilities, and Hudepohl's presence in the market diminished.
Your socks don't match.
You see, we drink all we can, the rest we sell.
In the 60s, Utica Club beer was a popular choice in America. Brewed by the FX Matt Brewing Company in Utica, New York, it was the first beer to be legally sold after Prohibition ended in 1933. Utica Club became a household name, especially in the Northeast. One interesting fact about Utica Club is its unique marketing. The brewery created TV commercials featuring animated characters Schultz and Dooley, two talking beer steins. These ads were a hit and helped cement Utica Club's place in American beer culture. Utica Club had several varieties, including their flagship Utica Club Pilsener lager. It was known for its crisp taste and affordability. During the 60s, it was common to see Utica Club at local bars, family gatherings, and summer picnics. The 60s also saw changes in consumer preferences. People began to favor lighter beers with less bitterness, which wasn't Utica Club's style. Additionally, the beer industry saw consolidation, with many smaller breweries either closing or being bought out by larger ones. Utica Club didn't disappear entirely. The FX Matt Brewing Company still exists and produces other brands like Saranac.
That light-hearted ale just right for light-hearted moments. Carling's Red Cap Ale takes you to the feature race of the week.
Red Cap Ale was a popular beer brand in America during the 60s. This ale was known for its distinctive red cap, which made it easily recognizable. Red Cap Ale was produced by Carling Brewing Company, a well-known brewery at the time. Carling, originally from Canada, expanded into the American market in the mid-20th century. In the 60s, Red Cap Ale was a common sight in bars and homes across the country. It was especially popular in the Midwest and Northeast. The beer was praised for its smooth taste and moderate alcohol content, making it a favorite for social gatherings and casual drinking. One interesting fact about Red Cap Ale is that it was often marketed as a beer for the working class. Advertisements from the era show factory workers and everyday Americans enjoying a cold bottle after a hard day's work. This branding resonated with many consumers, contributing to its popularity. However, the popularity of Red Cap Ale began to decline in the late 60s and 70s. One reason was the increasing competition from other beer brands. Companies like Anheuser-Busch and Miller Brewing Company started to dominate the market with aggressive advertising and distribution strategies. Eventually, Carling decided to discontinue Red Cap Ale in the American market.
Then you pour a bone-chilling glass of Grain Belt beer.
Grain Belt beer was a popular choice for beer drinkers in America in the 60s. Brewed in Minneapolis, Minnesota, it was known for its quality and taste. Grain Belt beer came in several varieties, including the Grain Belt Premium and the Grain Belt Golden. The Premium was a classic American lager, while the Golden had a lighter taste. Both were widely appreciated for their smoothness and flavor. During this time, advertising played a big role in Grain Belt's popularity. The company used catchy slogans like, "The friendly beer with the friendly flavor," to attract customers. TV commercials and print ads helped boost its recognition. The brand faced tough competition from national brands like Budweiser and Miller. Despite this, Grain Belt held its own due to its loyal customer base. People in the Midwest, especially in Minnesota, had a strong attachment to it. Grain Belt's decline began in the late 70s. The Minneapolis Brewing Company struggled financially and eventually sold the Grain Belt brand in 1976. Several ownership changes followed, leading to inconsistent production and distribution. By the 80s, Grain Belt beer was harder to find. Many consumers shifted to other brands that were more readily available. The brand was revived in 2001 by the August Shell Brewing Company, another Minnesota-based brewery.
It's brewed with sparkling pure spring water and is fully krausen. That means double brewed, the most natural way to brew a beer. And the most...
In the 60s, old-style beer was a popular choice in America, especially in the Midwest. It was brewed by the G. Heilemann Brewing Company in La Crosse, Wisconsin. This beer had a unique taste because it was brewed using the krausening method, a traditional German technique that involved adding a small amount of young fermenting beer to a fully fermented batch. Old Style was known for its smooth and crisp flavor. It was a common sight at bars, sporting events, and family gatherings. The brand marketed itself with slogans like "Pure Genuine Krausen Beer" and "America's Best Brewed Beer." This gave it a distinctive image compared to other beers at the time. Old Style had a strong following, especially in Chicago. It was often associated with the Chicago Cubs, as it was sold at Wrigley Field. The beer was also popular among the working-class community, who appreciated its affordable price and quality. G. Heilemann Brewing Company faced financial difficulties and was eventually sold to Stroh Brewery Company in 1996. The brand changed hands several times over the years, which affected its market presence and distribution. Today, Old Style is still available, but it no longer holds the same prominence it once did.
With flavor, inviting, delighting, exciting, just a little more exciting than any other beer.
Wow!
Genesee Cream Ale, a notable beer from the 60s in America, has an interesting history. Introduced in 1960 by the Genesee Brewing Company, based in Rochester, New York, this beer became a staple in the Northeast. It combined the smoothness of an ale with the crispness of a lager, making it a unique choice for beer enthusiasts. During the 60s, the American beer market was dominated by big names like Budweiser, Miller, and Pabst. Genesee Cream Ale carved out a niche by offering something different. Its distinctive taste and marketing as a premium beer at an affordable price helped it gain a loyal following. The beer's popularity peaked in the late 60s and early 70s, with many recalling it as a go-to choice for social gatherings and casual drinking. Genesee Cream Ale was widely distributed across the Northeast and even reached other parts of the country. Its distinctive green can and creamy texture set it apart from other beers on the shelf. The brewery's commitment to quality and consistency helped maintain its reputation. Genesee Cream Ale didn't completely disappear, but it did fade from the spotlight. The brewery continued to produce it, but it became more of a regional favorite rather than a national sensation.
Like a natural brew, tall and cold, and Duke is a natural beer for the natural man.
In the 60s, Duquesne Duke Beer was a popular choice among American beer drinkers. Named after the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Duquesne Brewing Company was founded in 1899. By the mid-20th century, Duquesne Duke Beer had become a staple in bars and households across the region. Duquesne Brewing Company was known for its innovation. In 1950, they introduced a twist-off cap, a novelty at the time. This made Duquesne Duke Beer more convenient and helped boost its popularity. The beer was marketed as a high-quality, affordable option, often compared favorably with national brands like Budweiser and Miller. Despite its success, the 60s were a challenging time for many regional breweries. Duquesne Duke Beer, while beloved locally, struggled to maintain its market share. In 1972, Duquesne Brewing Company ceased operations, and Duquesne Duke Beer faded from shelves. The brewery's closure was part of a broader trend in the industry, where many regional beers disappeared as national brands took over. Factors like the rise of television advertising and the consolidation of beer distributors played significant roles in this shift.
Help! Stamp out thirst. Drink Stag Beer.
Pour some more. Stag Beer.
Stag Beer in the 60s was a well-known American beer brand, especially popular in the Midwest. Founded in 1851 by Adam Stange in Belleville, Illinois, the beer's popularity grew throughout the years, reaching its peak in the mid-20th century. During the 60s, Stag Beer was marketed as a working man's beer, a straightforward, no-frills option. It was known for its clean taste and affordability. Ads often featured slogans like "a man's beer" and depicted rugged, hard-working men enjoying a stag after a long day. Stag Beer was a staple in many households and local bars. It competed with other popular brands of the era, such as Budweiser, Miller, and Schlitz. Despite being a regional brand, Stag held its ground against these giants by focusing on its core market in Illinois and neighboring states. The beer's packaging also stood out. The iconic stag head logo was instantly recognizable, and the green and gold cans became a familiar sight in grocery stores and at social gatherings. Stag sponsored various local events and sports teams, embedding itself in the community and local culture. Stag Beer changed hands multiple times, going through several mergers and acquisitions. Each change in ownership aimed to revitalize the brand, but none managed to restore its former glory. By the 80s, Stag Beer had largely disappeared from the national spotlight, although it maintained a loyal following in its original markets. Today, Stag Beer is still available in limited regions, but is largely forgotten outside its historical heartland.
You don't have to be rich to enjoy a beer as rich and smooth as Meister Bräu. It only tastes expensive.
Whoa, Max, you really had me worried for a minute, pal.
Meister Bräu, a Chicago-based brewery, was founded in 1891 by Peter Hand and was well known for its innovative marketing and unique approach to brewing. Meister Bräu introduced the first light beer, Meister Bräu Light, in 1967. This beer was marketed as a low-calorie option, making it appealing to health-conscious consumers of the time. Meister Bräu Light's success was short-lived, but it paved the way for the light beer market. In 1972, Miller Brewing Company acquired the Meister Bräu brand and the rights to Meister Bräu Light. Miller rebranded the beer as Miller Lite, which became a massive hit and established the light beer category. Despite this initial success, Meister Bräu faced tough competition from larger breweries. Companies like Anheuser-Busch and Pabst had a stronger market presence and more resources for marketing and distribution. By the mid-70s, Meister Bräu struggled to keep up. Meister Bräu's decline was also due to changes in consumer preferences. The 60s and 70s saw a shift towards lighter, more refreshing beers, which was not Meister Bräu's main focus. After Miller acquired Meister Bräu, the original brand gradually faded away. Today, Meister Bräu is largely forgotten, overshadowed by the success of Miller Lite and other light beers that followed.
The water here makes Pearl Beer, first in the heart of Texas.
Originating in San Antonio, Texas, Pearl Beer was produced by the Pearl Brewing Company. This brewery had a long history, dating back to 1883, when it was founded by German immigrants. Named after its original brand, Pearl, the beer quickly became known for its crisp, clean taste. During the 60s, Pearl Beer was a significant player in the American beer market. It was particularly popular in Texas and the surrounding states. The brand was known for its distinctive packaging, featuring a pearly white label with the iconic red pearl logo. Pearl Beer sponsored many local events and sports teams, making it a staple in the community. One interesting fact about Pearl Beer in the 60s is its connection to the famous Pearl Brewery. The brewery itself was an architectural marvel, with its large castle-like structure becoming a landmark in San Antonio. The brewery also produced other popular brands like Country Club malt liquor, which added to its reputation. Despite its popularity, Pearl Beer began to decline in the late 20th century. The 80s and 90s saw a shift towards light beers and craft beers, leaving traditional lagers like Pearl behind. The Pearl Brewing Company was eventually sold to Pabst Brewing Company in 1985. While Pabst continued to produce Pearl Beer for some time, it never regained its former popularity. And there you have it, a journey through the beers that once defined the American beer scene in the 60s, but are now disappearing from our shelves. It's a bittersweet farewell to these iconic brews, but their legacy will always hold a special place in beer history. If you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about the world of beer. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Which of these discontinued beers do you miss the most? Or did we miss any of your old favorites? Also, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Cheers to good times and great beers.